Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I am in love with this layout. So today is day 21 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this sketch comes from Danny Puce. That's probably not right. I am so sorry if I have butchered your name. That's really terrible. So I have actually seen several layouts in the past that have this kind of like stripy border across the middle with paints or even gelatos, or I'm using shimmers because I have an addiction to shimmers. And I get all of my shimmers from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I am scrapbooking 2 photos today. My husband got my daughter and I both bouquets of roses for Valentine's Day. We're not huge Valentine's Day people, but we usually get flowers or little thing of candy or something. Like I always do a little something for the kids. I think Lucas got some mountain biking socks and just a little something and a little bit of candy. So I didn't take any pictures, actually. I took pictures of our flowers close up. Why? I don't know, because they're beautiful. So those are like the main pictures that I have. So I pulled out a bunch of shimmers, kind of in the colors of the flowers in the pictures. And I realized that I didn't have enough. So I had my daughter grab 2 more. So these last 2 are the ones she grabbed. Now the orange like seems super bright and out of place. But when all is said and done, it works out pretty good. So after this kind of section of the video, I put in a picture of all of the shimmers that I used in color order. So if you want to pause the video and find out the names, that would be helpful. Or if you have a question, you can leave it down below and I can tell you which one it is. So it would have been a good idea to, when I drew the stripe, that then I took a smaller paintbrush and did the splatters of the same color along that stripe. But I didn't think about that until after I had done all my stripes and after everything had already been opened and shut. So I had to reopen them. So this part of the video is sped up super fast because I wanted to leave it in, but man, if I could paint and splatter that fast, I'd be rocking this. So I just do one of every color, and that is going to be the base of my background. So here are those shimmers if you want to pause, and then we will get on with the process. So there it is, all done, beautiful and shimmery. And you can see the sketch up there in the left. Now this is where I screw up majorly. So in the sketch, you see that kind of tilted line. Well, I kind of thought that that just meant that my paper needed to be tilted. Now I like the look of this, but then when I go to cut the edges off, it looks crazy weird. So I get like 3 edges cut off and then I flip it over. Or maybe I cut them all off. I kind of feel like I only got 3 cut off. Yeah, I cut off 3 and I was like, whoa, that looks terrible. What have I just done? Like I was in love with this layout and now it's like all wonky and weird. So I decided to rip it up. So I am going to pull it off this background paper, which this is sped up too. So imagine how long it is actually taking to get it off because my adhesive decided to be super awesome today. And as I peel one side and then I go to peel the other side, it re-sticks to one side. I was like, oh my goodness. And this piece of cardstock, I'm not sure where it came from. It's just kind of like a pinky purple. And luckily I was able to salvage it, so I will use it again. So I decide I am going to cut it down back into a square. So I am lining it up and basically trimming off the weird section that I cut off. Now it's super sticky and I thought, oh, let's put the sticky side on my trimmer. Bad idea. If you have adhesive, put the sticky side up and just let it stick crazily to your hand, which is what I'm doing now. So once I get it cut back down to a square, I am going to center it on my layout. Now, my border is not completely the same. And I think it's because I had only cut 3 sides. And so if I had trimmed down the 4th side, it would have been an even border, but it's back on that background paper and that's it. It's done. So I don't mind. I mean, it's a little bit different. It's not a perfect border, but let's be honest, this is kind of a mixed media messy page, so it's not perfect. Just like there's not a perfect flower. So these are my 2 photos. I decided not to add any pattern paper. There is not one piece of pattern paper on this layout. How crazy is that for me? It's super crazy. So I just put some white tissue paper behind to give it a softness, and then I'm going to layer them up down in the corner. I just couldn't bring myself to put them over the beautiful stripes. Like the amount that I covered up already, like, makes me sad. Like I really feel like I could have just done the painting and put some embellishments on and no picture and called it good. And maybe someday I need to do that. Like I have been trying really hard to do my journaling and journaling on every page and getting the stories down. So if I had a story and I didn't have a picture, this would be a beautiful page, and I could just do my journaling kind of down in the bottom where it says text. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog whining. I brought her out to the shed because she wouldn't be lonely in the house, and I think she wants to go back in. So apologize if you hear her whining. At least hers is a little softer than my crazy kids are at home right now. I totally didn't. That's like a tangent. Oh, no pictures. So where it says all that text, that would be journaling, and that page would be actually very beautiful if you didn't have a picture, which I've never done. So maybe I need to find a story and do that. So embellishing is fairly simple. I decide to take some hearts from the La La Love collection in the chipboard as well as the puffy stickers and kind of do a diagonal down. And then I am just going to title it Valentine. I did go through the ephemera pack, and this is where I find like a little flower store. At first I was thinking I needed somewhere to do some journaling, but there's really not much journaling that needs to be done on this. So I found this little flowers shop, and I'm going to tuck that in, and I'm going to add one of the puffy hearts to where the top of that tag is. So then it just looks more like that's part of the house versus, or part of the business versus a tag that needed some string. So I do take some time and kind of look through everything I have, but that is pretty much going to do it. So that is my layout. And I did journal on the bottom in like a light gray pen. So you'll see that in the close-ups. And I tried to get some good close-ups of the beautiful shimmers. So make sure you head over to Christy, Daisy, Moira, Shannon, Jen on Instagram, maybe Amber on Instagram, and check out their take. So remember to wear your crown, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.